First, FIRSGS, is because we have first edition, first print of a lot of books. Yeah, sure. Please, sorry. Please. Yeah, thank you. Okay, sure. Okay, first edition of a lot of books you see here. For example, Bishop's Bible, King James, the first book in Spanish, the book that went to the moon, and also the Gutenberg Bible. Now, before you all get very confused, let me just give you a little history lesson so you'll be less confused. But I hope you will not be. We'll start with Henry VIII. Everybody knows him, right? Okay, Henry VIII, he died at the age of 55 from type 2 diabetes. And he was succeeded by his son, Edward VI. Now, Edward VI, the mother was the third queen, Jane Seymour. Okay, but Jane Seymour died 11 days after Edward was born. And Edward VI himself died at the age of 15 from tuberculosis. And who succeeded him? He was succeeded by Lady Jane Grey. Now, she was known as the 8-day queen because she lived till age 18, and she was put to death by Mary Tudor. Who succeeded her? Mary Tudor. Mary the First. The mother was Queen number 1, Catherine of Aragon. Now, King James VIII was what? Anglican, right? So when Mary Tudor became queen, she was very, very staunch Roman Catholic. Follow her mother. She could not tolerate any Bible in English. She wanted everybody to go to the Roman Catholic Church and listen to the Bible in Latin. But there were already the reformers, because Edward VI and even the last stage of Henry VIII, they were tolerant of the Bible being printed in English. So what she did was, the only way she knew what to do was to kill the people who opposed, who were anti-Roman Catholic. So she killed hundreds and hundreds of reformers. She killed British theologians. She killed all those people who did not flee. She killed the Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas Cranwell. Why? Because he wrote a prologue in the Great Bible, which was written by John Rogers. And she also killed John Rogers, and John Rogers was a very close follower of William Tyndale. Okay? She earned the nickname of Bloody Mary. She ruled from 1553 to 1558. She died at age 42 from stomach cancer. And who succeeded her? Her half-sister, Elizabeth I. The mother was second queen, Anne Boleyn. Yes. Anne Boleyn was beheaded at the age of 38 when Queen Elizabeth was 2 years, 8 months old. Okay? And 11 days after Anne's death, King Henry VIII married Jane Seymour. So when Queen Elizabeth became queen, she moved everything back to Anglican again. So again, she was more tolerant of the reformers. But she could not accept the Bible because John Calvin was the time of Mary Tudor. So he had the Geneva Bible. The Geneva Bible had side text, and they were the sayings of who? Erasmus. They were the sayings of John Calvin, John Knox, Martin Luther, William Tyndale. How much more reforming do you want to be? Anti-monarchy, anti-papacy. She could not have that in her country. Therefore, in 1568, she commissioned Bishop Matthew Parker to write this book. That's why it's known as Bishop's Bible, because it's written by a bishop. And the result of which is what you see here. Okay? Now, this never proved popular. Not because of the size, but because of the Geneva Bible. The Geneva Bible was in the hands of the people. So why would they want to come to church and listen to the priest? Alright? Now, she died at a good age of 70, and she was succeeded by the Tudor line died with her. Okay? So no more English kings. So who succeeded her? King James VI of Scotland. Who was the mother? Mother was Mary, Queen of Scots. Now, Mary, Queen of Scots, in 1568 was imprisoned by Queen Elizabeth I, and she was imprisoned for 19 years before she was executed. And she was forced to abdicate in favor of her son, King James. But King James was a very small boy, so Scotland was ruled by a regency. That means it was ruled by regents. But when he came on the throne in 1603, he was already an adult. Okay, but when he was there was the Bishop's Bible and the Geneva Bible and the Latin Vulgate and all these Bibles were floating around. So he said, no, I'm going to authorize one version. So he had a committee, and the committee was known as God's Secretaries. Okay, they met in Oxford, Westminster, Cambridge, and they took portions of the whole Old and New Testament and started to translate from original text. That means Old Testament translated from Hebrew, New Testament translated from Greek. They were the best brains in the land at that time. The result of which is the 1611 King James Bible. We have the first print, first edition here. Now, it is known as a massive folio edition, very big, 40 pounds heavy, 1.5 feet tall, 6 inches thick, meant for the clergy. He had 20,000 copies printed for 20,000 churches in England. He was expecting people to come back to church, but did they? No, they didn't come back to church because they had the Geneva Bible in their hands. So he had a very good business strategy. I'm going to make one handheld Bible. So the result of it is 1612 handheld Bible. Okay? Did it prove to be popular? No. Why? Geneva Bible. It was so popular for 250 years. So what did he do? He banned the Geneva Bible. That's it. Anybody having a Geneva Bible in England, I'm going to put them into jail. And he did that. People were persecuted. But did that stop the popularity of the Bible? No. People were still printing it in Amsterdam. Europe was very sympathetic to the reformers, and they were smuggling the Bible in. And it was actually generations later that it became accepted. And once it was accepted, it surpassed any other print of any other Bible. And today, the New York Times bestseller list doesn't even mention the King James because it's universally understood that it is the most printed book year in, year out. Nothing has been able to surpass that. Maybe except the 7th edition of Twilight series. I don't know. We have also the first Bible in Spanish. They also suffered greatly for their faith. And the Bible that went to the moon. That Bible is 2 inches by 2 inches, 4 square inches of microfilm. It contains the whole King James text. Old Testament, New Testament, 1,246 pages in that microfilm. Now, it was brought up on the Apollo 14 in 1971 by the astronaut Edgar Mitchell. He was what you call a lunar module pilot. So they were asking him, why do you want to bring, you're not going to read it. You need a very powerful microscope. Even though it's a genuine stuff, you can actually read it, and it's in English, it's not binary. But he says that if you're going to have 100,000 pounds of rocket fuel in a rocket that is built by the lowest bidder, you want to stay close to God.